Don't you like those little butterflies when it's counting down? Hello, everybody
Yeah,
here.
I
The
do.
real story behind her business. This is Tamra. Tamra is an amazing woman from the United States. And before we deep dive in, Tamra, I'm going to just tell everybody here because I get too exciting when I do those interviews and I forget to say, if you are wondering what the heck should I share about me and my business,
Hmm.
I always tell you to grab my little guide, and I'm gonna, if you don't see it on Instagram, it's in my bio. It's gonna be somewhere in the description. It's somewhere in the comments. But this little guide gonna help you to go back in your memory because you think you don't remember things, but when someone prompts you with specific questions, it's gonna bring you back there, and those are little stories you're gonna start to collect and use in your marketing. And today, Tamara gonna share with us stories. Some of them she doesn't even know what it is because you don't know until it goes somewhere in your brain and it's like, oh yeah, remember that.
I love that. Oh.
So Tamara, where are you talking from? Where are you joining us from?
I am joining you from sunny Scottsdale, Arizona.
Describe, bring us with to you.
Well, it's about 108 degrees outside, a beautiful, warm, sunny day. And actually, it's a dry heat. So, as they always say, it's not as bad as if it was 108 degrees in Florida, where I was a couple weeks ago. It is really pretty manageable, especially if you're in the
Yeah.
shade. It's not as hot as you would imagine.
Oh, that's like it just sounds so good. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Anyway,
Tamara, yes, tell us who you serve in this world.
I serve coaches and consultants who are looking to grow their business, but they feel like they're stuck. They can't get enough discovery calls in their calendar. They aren't growing as fast as they want to grow. It's just not happening fast enough, try as they might. And so often I find the biggest problem is that they're stuck in the tech menu, the mayhem of trying to make this tech talk to that tech and make it all work together. And they find that they're spending way too much time on their back end systems and not enough time talking to clients, creating content, reaching out to potential leads or people that could become clients. And I love helping them get unstuck and rapidly get moving again towards their goals.
Yeah, and I love how you present how you do that, by the way. So tell us, let's jump there before we go to your story. Like, how do you do that?
Okay, so for your audience, I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to look, but I think I'm supposed to look
The
here.
desktop, yeah, the
The desktop.
desktop,
Okay,
yeah.
because I've got two things going here
You
for
can
you.
say hi to Instagram from time
Okay.
to time.
Instagram, I'm not ignoring you, but I'm supposed to look over here. Okay. Um, so could you repeat that question? Sorry.
Yeah, so you're doing all this kind of I see you as a little fairy helping to streamline everything, make things easier,
Mhm.
and in so many levels, right? And I'm not gonna say what you do because I want you to say it. So tell us how you do that.
You bet.
How-
Yeah. What happens is people have all these different tech software systems that they've collected over the course of their business life, and they don't talk to each other, and they're trying to duct tape them together with things like a Zapier or what have you. And Zapier is a great company, but sometimes they break.
That's
And
me.
then what happens is you don't even know it breaks, and pretty soon what you think is connected is not. And for people trying to grow their business, that can become very frustrating and time consuming. The other thing that happens is that tech can get very expensive very quickly. And before you know it, you have hundreds or up close to thousands of dollars worth of tech software you're paying for every single month, that some of which you don't need, some of it you're not using anymore, and it doesn't all work together the way it should for your lead generation to be nurtured in the way it needs to be to have an effective business. So I help you by consolidating all that into one simple, easy to use system at a fraction of the cost that you're spending now. And
Yeah.
then what I also do with people is once we get that consolidation done, we work on their lead generation system so that we nurture their leads that come into their world from various places, because most of the time when people come in and learn about you initially, they might not be ready to buy your high ticket offer as a coach or consultant. They need some time getting to know you. And with the right lead nurturing strategies, we can quickly move them from a lead to a paying client.
Yeah, I love it, the customer journey. So, but Tamra, you're a tech lady, like big time. And tell me, like, if we go back to little Tamra when you were 5'7", what were you doing that kind of what was your favorite play, and how did it shape the woman you became today, would you say?
Mm. My favorite thing to do when I was little is I would pretend that I was starting a club or an organization, and I would organize the meetings and bring in members and get people to join my club. Or else I always was the teacher. I wanted to be the teacher, and I'd have my little brother sit at his desk and I would pretend I was the teacher. I had a chalkboard behind me. So from a very early age, I found myself wanting to organize and lead people and teach people.
Here we
And that
go.
has followed me through my life, interestingly enough.
Yeah. So what is the story, Tamara, before your business currently? What was for you the burning desire that brought you to what you do today? Can you bring us through the steps
Mhm.
of your journey, and what was the
Mhm.
main thread?
Yeah, I for sure can. Thank you for asking. So, before I started my business a long time ago, I was working in sales and marketing for the two largest medical device companies in the world. And with that, I had the luxury of amazing blue chip sales training. It is second to none. And I knew that someday I wanted to start my own business. I just wasn't sure when or how. And then I got married and had a family and traded my high heels for high chairs, as I like to say, and became a stay at home mom to what is now five children. So our growing family kept me very busy for a while. But I always knew that when our kids got older, someday I wanted to start a business of my own and take that sales training and marketing training that I had and use it to help other people. And so when the time became right for me to do that, I did it. I became a business coach, and I focused on more general sales and marketing. And my background is also in electrical engineering and marketing. So tech has always been my jam. It's always been what I love to do. And in my free time, I love learning tech and getting the latest gadgets. I'm always the person buying the latest gadget and integrating it into my life. So I knew that that would also be a part of whatever I ended up doing. And I found that the more sales and marketing coaching I did, there was always one piece of my program that I gravitated to the most. There was one module I loved to do more than anything else. And when we got to that module, I just could spend oodles of time there with people. And that was the lead generation and automation piece. And so I decided, if I love it this much and I can spend hours upon hours doing this, even on the weekends when I'm, left to my own devices and have some free time, it's where I gravitated. I thought, why not just focus on that part of my offer and let the rest of it go? Because there's a lot of great sales and marketing coaches out there doing fabulous things. And I really wanted to just do this. And when I focused and micro niche down into lead generation and automation, that's when my business blew up. And I knew I had something, doing that, I was doing what I was really meant to be doing.
Yeah. So for people who are watching here or watching the replay, tell us more about what we call for lead generation, because it's, among marketers, we know what it is, but I find
Mhm.
that some of my clients come to me and I'm like, what is that thing?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So, it's funny how many online coaches or consultants don't have a well-oiled lead generation system in place. What lead nurturing really is all about is, number one, having a system to bring new people into your world. How are you going to capture contact information and get people to know, like, and trust you, right? That's job one. And that usually includes having a landing page, a free offer that's a compelling free offer. It can't just be a one sheet download anymore. With all the online coaches and consultants, it really needs to be something juicy, something a little more meaty that they really get a lot of added value from. And so I always invite people to think about, when you're creating your lead magnet, what's the one thing that people are struggling with right before they buy from you, right before they need your service? What is their pain point? That's what your lead magnet should be about. So capture them at a landing page, have them fill out a form to get the link to download your free offer. And then nurture them with a sequence of emails after that, 3 to 5 to 7 emails that you want to nurture them through, spread over the course of a week or 2 or 3, depending on how often you want to message them. Let them getting to know you. Remind them, first of all, to use the lead magnet, because how many times have you downloaded something? I'm guilty. Say, I want that freebie, and then you forget about it. It gets buried in your inbox, and you're like, that's gone. I don't even remember downloading it or where it is in my inbox because I've so many unread messages. So reminding them to go back and use it, and then reminding them a little bit about what you offer and how your customer journey started, how you started your business, why you're different, why you're an expert in the field. These are some of the things to include in your nurture series so that they can build that overused term, the know, like, and trust factor, but that encapsulates what you're trying to do. Build that know, like, and trust factor. And then by the time you get towards the end of the email nurture series of message 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, then you're going to be hinting at an offer, hinting at something else that you can provide to them. And then towards the end or the very last message, it's going to be inviting them to take a call to action, to actually book a call or come to your masterclass or attend your event, whatever the case may be. That's when the CTA comes in towards the end of your nurture series, not at the beginning. Don't ask people to take action or to click and to buy too quickly.
Yeah, I love that's a beautiful one shot class here. Thank you. Yeah, but it's amazing how you describe it's simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we tend to overcomplicate things. But I always say it's like if you go to a coffee shop with me, right, you for the first time, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the same elegance that you bring to the relationship
Mm-hmm.
while being very authentic. And I love that you bring the part about storytelling,
Yeah,
sharing where you come from, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's really
So
important.
yeah. So tell me more, Tamra. What was the biggest struggle for you? I know that you niche down. Like, how did you make that big decision? Because it's like
Mm-hmm.
extreme, right? We
Mm-hmm.
always feel that we can't abandon a piece of our business because what if then nobody wants me anymore? So how did
Mm-hmm.
you overcome that choice on your
Yeah,
end?
yeah, yeah. It's scary because you think, oh my gosh, if I niche down too specific, what if I lose all my clients? What if nobody wants this, right? It was a process, a lot of sleepless nights laying there wondering if it was the right move. But what I found was, like I told you earlier, even in my free time on the weekends, if I couldn't sleep and I was up in the middle of the night reading, it was where I gravitated. And I thought to myself, if this is where I really want to be, then I'm going to be able to deliver better value to my clients because this is what lights me up. And if I'm not lit up by the other modules and the other parts of my business as much as I am this, then I need to listen to that voice in my head, if you will, that intuition, that there's a divine message coming through here, whatever power you believe in. I felt like it was something I just could no longer ignore. And I also found that with all the online noise right now and all the people in the online coaching and consulting space, that the people I was most attracted to were the micro niche people. If I was going to go look for somebody to hire for a part of my business, I was looking for the micro niche person, not necessarily the generalist. And so
I love this.
think about it
Yeah.
like that, is who are the last 2 or 3 coaches you bought from or consultants you bought services from? Were they a generalist or were they a specialist? And that's how I let go of the fear of wondering if I was going to be able to keep growing my business when I micro niched, because I just had faith in the fact that other people would feel the same way I did, that that specialist is really the person that they wanted. And I took the leap of faith, as they
I
say.
love this. I love this because, again, yesterday I had a discussion with someone who is a new entrepreneur with a huge experience in her field of expertise, and she's not sure where should I bring my business. We have
Mm-hmm.
a tendency to want to keep it all. And what about we do? I love how you bring your intuition in the game.
Mm-hmm.
How do
Yeah.
you tell us more about that? How do you know it's your intuition and not something you're making up?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's such a good question. Oh, it's hard to describe, isn't it? I feel like it kind of happens, it doesn't happen instantaneously. For me, it kind of happened over the course of some time where I kept gravitating back to that. I kept finding myself there. I couldn't get enough of the lead generation and automation piece. I just found it so fascinating with all the tools that are available and hearing about what people were struggling with, that I just felt like it kept happening to me over and over, that I couldn't ignore it anymore. That I knew what was coming really easy to me was not coming easy to other people. And as I talk to people and have sales calls or networking calls with people, what I kept hearing back from them was that they were struggling with something that came so easy to me. That's how I knew it wasn't just me telling myself this. It was really a need out there, and it was something that I think the universe, or whatever power you believe in, was trying to tell me to do and to act on, but I needed to hear it more than once to make
I love
sure.
it. Thank you. I like that you bring that so clearly. You say it's hard to explain, but you explain it so well. And the trust factor, right? This
Hmm.
is what we have to do as entrepreneurs to learn how to trust our instinct and our guts.
Yes, and you have to be willing to listen to it and be open to that message that's coming through. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. So, once you decided this, do you remember the big, like, when you take the decision and then things happen and then
Mhm.
things starts moving? What was it, the day or the big payoff that you said, "Oh my God, I was so right to do that. Like we were right where I wanted to be." Do you remember that day or that moment phase?
Yeah, I definitely remember what happened was I was attending a speed networking event at a networking group I'm in. It's really fun. It's like a speed dating thing where you get to meet a lot of people in a short time. And what happened, I'd been attending those for a while, and I'd get contacts in business from that, but it was a slow trickle compared to what happened when I niched down. The floodgates opened. And all of a sudden, in one speed networking event, over the course of 60 minutes, I had a multiple amount of leads coming in, people that were emailing me afterwards, messaging me, booking calls. It just, my calendar booked out really fast. And I thought, okay, I'm onto something. This was what I thought people were struggling with, but now I know. Like there's really a need out there, and I've hit on the hot button issue that a lot of people need help with, and I can
Yeah.
help them. So that's when I knew. It just started to happen really easily. If you feel like your business where you're just kind of pushing and pushing and pushing and you're not getting a lot back, and although we all have all these good intentions to bring that business in and see ourselves being really successful, if it's just not happening fast enough, look at micro niching down, and you'll find that all of a sudden the speed of which business grows for you transforms rapidly.
What about a wise recommendation? Okay,
Yeah.
homework, everybody. Yeah, and I think even if at different stage of your business, even when it's well established, there is probably always some pruning to do so that
Mhm,
you fully align with what you really want to do, I guess, and have
mhm.
fun, and that people really need that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so if you're wondering about niching down and wondering what to specialize in, think about when you're talking to potential clients or in networking groups, what's the big struggle people talk about that comes super easy to you? You could do it in your sleep, right? And you don't know why or how, but you are damn good at it, right? Everybody has that. Everybody has that zone of genius. And sometimes because it becomes so easy to us, whatever that is, that we just say, oh, it's nothing. Everybody knows how to do that. It's not a big deal. It's easy to dismiss it as a need and as a real business opportunity. So that's what I would encourage listeners to think about.
I love this. Thank you. Oh, I love this. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what a journey. And I always have questions to follow up kind of your journey. Um, your relationship to money,
Mm-hmm.
becoming an entrepreneur, right?
Yep.
How did the work of becoming an entrepreneur and niching down and did change your perception to money, which is a big factor among women entrepreneurs where like, you always hear about scarcity, abundance and
Mm-hmm.
prices. And so
Right.
what is your relationship and how it has been shaped by your entrepreneurship journey with money?
Wow, that is such a good question. I feel like when I niched down, it was so crystal clear to me and to my potential clients the value that I was going to bring to them. I mean, the metric, we could see it. We could pencil it out. This is the business you're going to get from doing this, because I'd done it enough times so that I had statistics and metrics to show them. If you bring in this many contacts and you reach out to them in this way, you're most likely going to get this many discovery calls. And from those calls, you're going to get this much business. You can actually map it out. So my relationship to money changed because I could see the value of what I was bringing them. I could see exactly the opportunity from a revenue standpoint that I was presenting to them, and that they were going to be given the opportunity to convert if they worked with me. So I feel like my relationship with money just got a lot easier because it was so easy to explain to people the value of what I was going to bring them. Does that
Wow.
does that make sense?
Totally,
Okay.
totally. Yeah,
Okay.
you were crystal clear. So it was not even a question about, you don't even question what you offer because you so believe in it. I think it's the
Mhm.
power of believing in yourself, in your
Mhm.
product
Yep.
or programs, and in your clients, right?
Yes. Yes. That's the thing. When you talk to people and you realize that they have a fabulous offer, they just need to tweak it a little bit to really make it take off. There's so much power in that, and you can you can just see them light up when you have that conversation. And that's how you know you're in the right zone too, I feel. Is when
Yeah,
you all of a sudden what you're saying is just resonating with them so much, and it's so exactly what they need at their time in their business.
I love that. Yeah, that's so true. Again, that's a vibration thing. Like everything is
Mhm.
like cling, cling, cling. It's like magic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I bet you have that happen all the time too.
Well, it happens when it's the right client, right?
Mhm.
So you that's one of the filter that when you feel that connection that is
Mhm.
beyond even any tangible things, and also
Yeah.
when you feel that how as the expert when you feel you already see your clients at the top. The person doesn't because she doesn't know what she doesn't know, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But you see them already, you see where they can go, their potential, you see them
Mhm.
already there, and they trust you enough that you see them like that, so they will become that. Like, I don't know how to explain that. When
Yeah.
they trust that you already see for them the path. It doesn't mean that you decide what to do or what for them, but you see the potential in them that they haven't seen yet, and they believe you
Yes.
on that.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Sometimes you can find that people are so frustrated and bogged down in the tech part of their business or the back end systems that are super mundane. They can't get out from underneath that to really focus on the revenue generating activities in their business. But as an outsider looking in, it's crystal clear. And I think that's what you're just saying, right? It's
Yeah,
crystal
yeah,
clear. And
yes.
you can say, just do this, that, and that, and you're ready to go. You're going to have a whole bunch more free time and a whole much extra cash in the bank because you consolidated all this stuff you don't need.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We're lucky to be able to help people and get the help we need. I love that. That's what I love about being a coach or consultant or any
Hmm.
service, like from thin air. Well, we can make things happen. I love it. I love that part. So
Yes.
true. So if you go back, how long have you been in business, Tamra? Like,
I started doing this right before the pandemic hit.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's excellent. So what's something that you thought was true before you started that got proven wrong to you
What
in
was
business building? Yeah. What did you think that was a truth around what it is to become an entrepreneur and a coach and a consultant that was proven wrong to you? Because
I
you
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think one of the things that I thought was true that wasn't is that you could put up your website, set up your social media, and all this business would come to you. And I really underestimated and didn't understand the power of social media because I had a fairly big social media audience on Facebook, not as much on Instagram, but they were all my friends and family. And I was like, I'm not going to use that to promote my business. That's just kind of more my personal space where I interact with friends and family. And I really, just in the last year, I would say, through the help of people like you, understand and appreciate and respect the value of how social media can transform your business if you do it the right way. And it's not
yeah.
just a matter of just going and throwing a post up here and there. There's a very important, elegant strategy to use. And that's what you do so well.
Cute.
Yeah.
And that was my follow-up questions. What is your relationship with social media? But I think you
Yeah.
you said it all right there. So
Yeah.
you discover the power of social media.
Mhm.
So how do you like, I see you're a woman that is really aligned with your intuition. How do you use social media in a way that feels good for you and your business?
I feel like it's transformed over the last few years up to how I'm using social media. But now I just come at it from a place of trying to mix my personal life. I still do some personal posts, but I also try to have some business in there because there's so many people online that are looking for help, looking for answers, looking for resources. And so I feel like it's a great way to serve people is to provide them with a free training, a free masterclass, a free event, a downloadable workbook. And those are really great places to share that because that's where people go to look for that. So if you're not sharing your business on social media, you're kind of doing your potential clients a disservice because they're there looking for it. What do you think?
Ba-bam.
What do
I
you
love
think?
this. No, I'm applauding. I'm like, listen to Tamra.
What do you think though? I mean, well, how do you use it?
Well, it's the same. Like I always say, you're not allowed to keep your beautiful expertise, knowledge, and sense of we
Mhm,
love serving people. We
mhm.
love that.
Right.
And it's not everybody that loves it doesn't mean that they're selfish or anything, but we're very like talkative. We love to serve people. Like
Mhm.
since you were 5 years old, you were like organizing and teaching, and this is our second nature. And I was doing the same with my sister. Ask my sister. She was like, I was a nightmare because I was so like you, I think. But so you're not allowed to keep that for yourself. If your intention is really to help people,
Mhm,
and you consciously say, well, I'm scared of social media, I don't know what to say, that's totally fine. It's normal, and you can help with, there is so much you can do to help you become
mhm,
safe around that.
mhm,
But I always say, if you can help one person a day, that's enough of a reason to do your story of the day or your reel of the day or your post of the day. So
mhm.
that's one thing. Because you've
Yeah.
probably experienced it, how someone that you probably never met before send you a DM at some point, say, my God, what you said the other day in that post or in that live or in that email you sent, it just, I was about to give up and you gave me
Mhm,
back that fire.
mhm,
So once you get your first type of message like that from someone that you probably don't know, this is
mhm,
where you're like, oh my God, this is serious. I'm here to change the
mhm.
world.
Yes, exactly. And I think that so many people get discouraged because right now on social media, if you're doing business posts, there's a lot of times where you don't get a lot of engagement. We all want to see the likes and the comments and the shares. But the truth is, more people are consuming content than ever before, but they're not interacting. And I'm guilty of it. Do you do that? I scroll through, I look at stuff, I love to see things, but I'm not always sharing, commenting, and liking on everything I scroll past, but I'm still consuming it and it's still registering. And that
Yeah,
builds that person's
yeah,
brand up in my head.
totally.
So
Yeah,
so some of my favorite brands, I look at what they're doing every day, every other day, but I'm not always interacting. So I think people need to not worry so much about the metrics. And the
totally.
other and the other thing I would say about social media that I've had to come to terms with at first because I was really scared to start putting it out there that I'm doing this. But truthfully, you have to believe, and this is true, that the people in your world, your friends, your family that you're connected to on social media, they want to see you succeed. We get
That's
scared to
true.
say, I'm doing this new thing. I'm going to, say I'm doing this. This is my new business. This is my new endeavor. But truthfully, if you stand back and you look at it from their shoes, they want to support you. They want to see you succeed. There's very few people that you're probably connected to on Facebook or any
Yeah,
social media platform that don't want that for you. So just remember that.
yeah. That's so true and so true. Oh yeah, yeah. And then think of, we hear a lot about legacy, especially in the movement of women entrepreneur. Like we want to
Hmm.
build our legacy, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened to you. But when you have a message that you want to share, I lost a few women entrepreneur who died recently,
Me
and
too.
then you realize that the print the print that you leave on social media or on the digital world goes
Hmm.
beyond even your life, right?
Yes.
Like for you, Tamara, your message, like you want to simplify women's life, you want to empower them that they are capable of making that tech monster thing a thing that they can do and delegate
Hmm.
if they want. So,
Hmm.
that it's you and I, we work around empowering women
Yeah.
to share their message and build, freedom around their money, around their project, around their mission in their
Yeah.
life. And when you leave that track about that type of message, it's beyond us. The legacy online is
Hmm.
huge, right? Because you can still hear your message of hope, of motivation, of,
Hmm.
expertise beyond
Hmm.
even your own life. I realized that the other day. I'm like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way, that it's
Yeah.
here to stay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless the internet disappears, right? But
Right.
I
Right.
find that so powerful.
I do too. I do too. And I, like you, have lost some really good friends in the entrepreneurial world in the last couple years. And I see the lasting impact that they had. And I think that is such a wonderful thing. And, one of the reasons I started my business too was I wanted my children to know me for more than just being a stay at home mom. Because
Oh,
a lot of us had this great corporate career, right? Then we become a stay at home mom, and our kids don't realize there's a whole nother side to us. And I remember before my grandma died, I asked her, if there's one thing you could change in your life, grandma, what would it be? And she said, she was an entrepreneur, and she said, I would take more risks, take more risks. And that stuck with me forever. And so when I was contemplating doing this and like trying to leave that legacy, like you're talking about, trying to make a mark in the world and do good, I always remembered her saying that. And I was like, I feel like I'm taking a big risk right now, but I think that's what she was telling me to do. And I'm going to do it. I'm just going to take this leap of faith. And even if I fail, I'm teaching my kids to try, to take a risk, to take bold steps in the world, try new things, be daring, and work hard. And a lot of times it'll work out in your favor. So,
I
yeah,
love your grandmother. What was
I
her name?
know.
What was her name?
Her name was Lillian.
Lillian.
Dear Lillian. Yes. So she had a really big impact on me. And I just want to leave an impact for my kids. I want to show them that it's okay to take those daring steps and try stuff. Don't be afraid.
Same here. Same. That's one of my
Yeah.
big why. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you would never guess the number of women entrepreneur I host on my show that goes back to their grandmother.
Really? That's
There
so
is a
cool.
thing with
I love that.
grandmothers. Yeah.
I
So
love that.
here's for you guys listening or replay or whatever. Like, what did your grandmother told you that still is in your head
Right,
and helps
right.
you? Because that's an amazing piece of storytelling. And
Mhm.
it's a good way to honor your grandma. I love
Mhm.
it. Love,
Mhm.
love it. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Oh, and we could talk all night. I know. I just love. Thank you so much to open yourself and share how you feel about all the things as a woman, as a mom, as a granddaughter, as an entrepreneur. Oh my God, so nice.
Thank
So
you. Thank you for the opportunity to chat today. I really enjoyed it.
me too. And I have one more question.
Okay.
I almost forgot. I always ask that. When you have the best day of your week, what is the thing that you do in your day that you know that gonna gear you up to live your best life? Is it a routine or is it a thing you do? Would you
Mhm.
share that with us?
Absolutely. So what I do every day before my alarm goes off and I lay in bed and I try to really visualize bringing my message to the right people, bringing them to me, having the power to send my message out to the best of my ability so that I attract the right people to it, and to know that what I'm asking for is going to happen. Because I think a lot of the times when we set our intentions for the day and have our gratitude time in the morning to really review what we're thankful for and think about what we're hoping for, is we forget to let it come to us. If you work too hard on trying to bring it to you and manifest it to you without stopping and letting the universe do its work and do its part to bring that to you, then you kind of block it. So I try to remember when I'm starting my day and having that moment is to say, I'm going to set this intention. I'm going to be thankful for these things. And here's what I'm hoping for my day to bring to me and to other people. And then allow it to come to me, to be open to receiving it.
Beautiful. Thank you. What a beautiful conclusion. There's nothing else to add to what you said. Thank you.
Well, I can tell you, I say that it's not always as easy as it sounds, right? And we all know that
Yeah.
all of our entrepreneurs, we probably all do this. Most people listening to this probably do that. And it's really hard to have faith in it sometimes. It's really hard to not try to control, because a lot of us in the entrepreneurial world can be hold the reins really tight. And sometimes that blocks those things from coming to us and that we're hoping for. And the other day, I was having a real issue with something that was going on with our boys and some projects they're doing this summer. And I finally was trying to over engineer it. I was trying so hard to make this happen, like a tiger mom. And then I realized, okay, I need to stop. I've done everything I can now. And our boys have done everything we can now for this to happen and to fall into place the way we need it to. Now I need to let it go. And I need to let the universe, and I need to let what happened is happen, because there's a reason this feels like a block right now. There's a reason it might not be coming to me in the way I want, and I have to be at peace to let things unfold the way they are supposed to unfold. I can't control everything, and the more I try to control, the less sometimes things work well. So that's another thing I always have to tell myself every day is don't try to over control the day and over control every detail, and because sometimes things have to unfold in their own way, and that's the perfect way they're supposed to happen. Do you
Yes.
find that? Do you ever
Oh,
do that?
totally. And I've been practicing that for the last year,
Yeah.
and it really makes a difference. Like when you let go and surrender, and
Mhm.
some most of the time it's like, oh my God, it's easier than I was making it about.
Uh-huh.
Or something cancels and everything is right again. Or, like the over controlling freak that we are. Sometimes we forget.
Mhm.
Yeah, it blocks. And so, but what I love about what you say is that as soon as you become aware of it,
Mhm.
number one, that's half the journey done. But then after that, it's about replacing. Most of the time, we have old belief that certain things should be done certain way. So I've
Yes.
been working a lot on redefining my beliefs based on the person I am becoming,
Uh-huh.
which is not the same belief that the girl from a few months ago, last year, or 2 years ago, you know, was operating under.
Right.
So that, and I'm working on that exact example here, but let it go. Like there is so much you can do, and trust that you're
Mhm.
not the only one. When people say you co-create your
Mhm.
life, I
Mhm.
feel that more and more. Since I'm
Absolutely.
aware of those power game in my own head, because we were the only one putting that pressure on ourselves, right? Nobody is like,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
I so exactly see what you mean. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
feels so much better.
It does. It's very freeing when you can do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you can continue to have that positive energy that brings the right answers to you and the
yeah,
right course of action.
yeah. And play with it, because the way you
Yeah.
describe it, I love it. Like I would encourage you, next time you're in a situation where like you're like, oh, I want this to happen like that. Just try to
Yeah.
let go and see what happens.
Oh, I
And then,
know.
yeah, and sometimes it just brings me tears. I'm like, I can't believe that not only didn't happen like I wanted, but even better. Because
Right.
sometimes it's even better than what you think,
I know. I know.
right?
When I look back at some of the most trying times in my life, they taught me the best lessons. They opened up the most amazing doors and steered me in new directions that I would have never imagined would be great for me, and they were. So, right, I know sometimes we get really focused on what we think is the right answer, but when we look back at it later,
Yeah,
we see it was how it unfolded was perfect.
yeah. Because it doesn't always feel good when it happens,
Mhm.
right? That's the thing.
Yes, I know. We are speaking the same language. Yeah, and that's the way
Okay,
life is.
yeah. But look, we're having those open conversation. I really appreciate this. And thank you so much, Tamra. And I'm
Thank
sure you're
you.
going to be of inspiration for other people. Like we've been, if you guys are not on fire right by now, then I don't know what you need. Rewatch it. I am
Thank
on fire.
you. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure chatting with you, and to all the Instagram watchers over
Yeah.
here, and
Yes.
then the
Hi,
rest of the social
Anne.
media over here. I
Yes. So I'm gonna switch off here on Instagram, and
Okay.
then the replay is gonna be on the feed, and then I just want to make sure I record everything. And then here, thank you, LinkedIn,
Okay.
Facebook, and YouTube. If you have any question, oh, you know what? I was so excited that I didn't put your, but I'm gonna put that in the description. Oh, where is your banner? I did this for you, and we were like chatting too much. Tamra Millikan, Millikan or Millikan?
Oh, that's
How do
okay.
you how do you say your last name?
Milliken. Milliken.
Millikan.
That's how
Yeah,
you say it.
at clickautomation.com. And those gonna be in the descriptions when we're gonna do the promo anyway. But
Yeah, yeah,
that's
we'll
what
have
I
it.
say. I'm always too excited when we get into the conversation. But now it is. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.